Hardcore mode is a little outdated. With its old shields and missing bosses, I can't help but think, is hardcore still really hard? Well, while I'm on this train of thought, might as well check. I'm gonna see if hardcore is really as hard as everyone thinks by beating it and give you my thoughts after. I'll be using the Lucio strategy with my amazing teammates I Don't Know Guy and No Guard Crow. I had one of the hardest roles, player 2, which meant I had commander and was the first defender. I was pretty nervous because I didn't want to let my teammates down, so I put a lot of thought into placing my ace pilot. I decided on a spot and
World Hunger solved.
Whatever. Sadly, we had to reset because I Don't Know Guy didn't upgrade his farming time. I turned on auto skip this time because it was mandatory to skip the first 20 waves. I almost placed a farm before realizing I had to upgrade my ace first. We leaked a little, which I thought was probably because I placed my ace pilot a little too close to the path, but we prevailed anyways. My farming techniques were a little advanced for the beginning strategy, so I was always a little early on cash. We leaked some invisibles, most likely because No Guard Crow placed the Pyromancer late, but we handled the balloons with ease when I placed my second ace pilot. At the end of wave 15, I placed a commander to aid our towers against the lead boss. Then the Mega Slow arose. If you were living under a rock, the Mega Slow was notorious for ending runs. My teammates placed down turret and minigunner for the Mega Slow, while I was supposed to sit and put my faith into my teammates for the Mega Slow to die. Thankfully, the Mega Slow died once the Reaper appeared. But the Reaper was light work. I upgraded my farms to level 3 when the Shadow Boss appeared, but that would only be an appetizer for the difficulty of wave 25. When wave 25 started, I quickly upgraded the remainder of my farms to level 3 and I checked on my commander. I would have to skip quickly and upgrade my commander to get Call of Arms. I quickly upgraded to the ability as soon as I got the wave bonus. I swiftly used the ability, and when the Wardens stunned the Shadow Bosses, they were quickly taken care of. I just started commander chain for later threats like Rushers and the Vindicator. I accidentally butchered my placement for the commanders, but it wouldn't be the biggest problem I would face. Later some minor threats rolled in: Rushers, 5 Shadow Bosses, Giant Boss spam, Fallen Titan with its old shield, Breaker 4s, and then the Gravedigger emerged. But it needs a health buff or something, because we beat it in an instant. Some more hardcore exclusive enemies showed up. Red Immortals, lavas, which should have the health regeneration modifier. Lead balloons, which I expected to be a threat, but posed little challenge. Also, we're gonna talk about how they're flying. No? Okay. And after those waves, the worst possible thing happened. Well, the worst possible thing would probably be me and my teammates losing, but this would definitely lead to a defeat. No Guard Crow disconnected. I Don't Know Guy asked me if we should restart, but I thought, can't he just rejoin? Why ruin this perfectly good run? But I went along anyways. Time was on my side, but soon would it be. Apparently, he couldn't rejoin, but we decided to continue this run because I was slightly biased. At the start, I wondered if hardcore was really difficult, but I knew it was heavily outdated. I underestimated the boss's difficulty because I already had beaten Polluted Wastelands, and that boss has like 300,000 more health, but it's still worried we didn't have enough DPS for the Void Reaver. But nonetheless, we continued. The Molten Boss came into view as we shredded it to bits, the Fallen Swordmaster arrived, and this was my first time seeing it. If you didn't know already, I haven't beaten hardcore. I never really attempted it because I didn't think it was worth the trouble. I beat it when I already grinded for the gem towers. But now I'm doing it for content. Fallen King appeared, and you would think it would have more health than the Fallen Swordmaster, but it doesn't. So we disintegrated it down to dust. Some unknown enemy appeared and some awesome music started playing. Afterwards, wave 50 started. I thought the boss would come first, but there's a lot of random enemy spam, which wasn't too hard to deal with. Finally, the Void Reaver showed itself. We relied heavily on Medic because the Vindicator's stun spam as the boss appeared from the entrance. I felt excitement surge through me, wondering if it could really pull the win off, even with 2 players. The boss's health depleted to 1 million as it reached the intersection. Then the boss's health reached half health when it reached the halfway point of the map. Then it started to rage and threw a sword at its base. And then we reached 1 health. Only if we had the Virgin Death badge in the game, but little did I realize when we suddenly lost. Apparently, before the Void Reaver threw its sword, it Void Slammed, which spawned in a bunch of souls, which went under my radar because I was busy chaining commanders. I felt pretty drained because I expected to win, although I knew our DPS was much lower than it should have been for the last wave. But nonetheless, we could still make another attempt, so I Don't Know Guy notified No Guard Crow and we started a second attempt. Then we lost. I don't have any footage because I forgot to record, but it was on one of the early waves, so there wasn't much suspense. Still did our third attempt, but I only recorded until wave 24, but time was running out. I had to do something in about 40 minutes, and if you know anything about hardcore, you know it takes a long time. But the fastest game was 29 minutes and 33 seconds with this strategy, so if we could somehow mimic that, we could finish just in time, but we would have to finish on this attempt, quick and fast. With the third player, things went much more smoothly and faster. The Gravedigger approached, but little did we know, we were gonna rob its grave for money. Molten Boss cooked, Fallen Swordmaster pierced, Fallen King tripped, and soon enough it was the last wave. The Void Weaver manifested from the entrance, more menacing than ever now than in its true difficulty. It started to rage after it crossed the bridge, which is an improvement from last time, and No God Crow was having a slight panic attack because we were at 2 health. Still more than last time, but nobody told him. But then I realized we can lose to the Void Weaver. We maybe could have won if it wasn't for the souls. So I frantically checked for souls, and Chain Command is better than I ever had. And soon enough, the boss was darting towards our base. It's death wish. But we showed it the real world after it crossed the intersection a second time. As the Void Weaver faded away, I cherished this moment because this was my first hardcore win. But that's not what you're here for. From my matches, this is the information I gathered about hardcore. I will answer if it's difficult, if it should get reworked, and if it's outdated. To answer the easiest question first, it's very outdated. I don't think this was a surprise to anyone. It still uses old shields, its animations don't match the quality of our new modes, and much more. Now for its difficulty primarily stems from coordination. You have to know when balloons come, what towers to have for leads, and how to deal with many more enemies. But then it gets easier with the occasional difficulty spike. Hardcore's difficulty should increase rather than having the difficulty skyrocket every once in a while. The minor bosses, Gravedigger, Molten Boss, Fallen Swordmaster, and King, are all way too easy. The bosses should be a major point in the game mode where the run has a major chance of ending. Similar to the Mega Slow and Wave 25. It could probably be a little more difficult if the Fallen Swordmaster and Fallen King run the same wave. The introduction of flying enemies is pretty blunt, and it could be better, but not just changing hardcore, but maybe just adding it to the original 4 game modes. Now, you should know the answer to the last question. Hardcore has been heavily neglected over the years, but if TDS is going to add more gem tower, it needs to update hardcore. Since the devs have been working and tweaking and adding game modes, I wouldn't give it long for a rework, and I think they shouldn't do anything with gems if they're not going to update hardcore. TDS may think hardcore isn't as important as the normal game modes, but it is. It marks a time when the difficulty increases and the player starts to enjoy the game because of its quality, but then it just completely drops, which is why it is very important that it gets a rework. One way to make it hardcore better without doing much is just to add matchmaking or the old hardcore lobby. Entering the hardcore lobby felt exhilarating with its design matching the hardcore's theme. Now, you should understand how important it is that hardcore gets reworked. I won't play hardcore until it's reworked, because it's not fun and not up to date. Hey guys, thanks for watching. As I'm writing the script, I was wondering what you all think about hardcore. Is it good the way it is? Should the difficulty be decreased? I want to hear your opinions. And for a fact to end the video, I once created a TDS Legacy video, but I didn't post it because the climax of the video was beating the Spring 2020, probably, event, but I accidentally deleted the footage and it didn't want to fake any video, so I just deleted the whole video. It would have been 20 minutes and it was like right before my 5 things to make TDS better video. Anyways, see you in the next one.